We're dinking around with Eddie and Webby. Dinking around with Eddie and Webby tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I want to be the very best, like no one ever was. Hiya! Oh, hey, how's it going? This is Webby, not Eddie.
And I'm Eddie, and this is our 86th Dinking Around.
Oh, yeah, episode number 86.
That's right. We got a great episode for you guys today. And we normally don't ask this, but I think we should start. If you are on YouTube, go ahead and click that subscribe button, like this video, throw a comment down below. We really appreciate it, and it helps the algorithm send this content out to more people, which we like and I think would be good for pickleball.
That's right, and I feel like it only took us 5 years before we realized that it's beneficial to tell people to like and subscribe, so maybe we'll start doing it from now on.
Wouldn't that be funny if now, because we said that, like this video gets 10 times the number of views?
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Just want to let you know that this episode would not be possible without our friends over at Volare Pickleball. Webby, I got to say, man, when you go out on the court, it's so nice to be able to have a paddle in your hand that you enjoy, it feels good, you feel comfortable with, and you feel like it helps bring the best out of your individual game. And I can tell you that every time I step on the court with my Volare Pickleball paddle, I feel like if I suck, it's on me. It's definitely not on my paddle. Would you agree with that?
I would definitely agree.
Well, if you guys want to get your hands on the best paddles in the pickleball world, go to Volare.com, use coupon code PB for life to get what?
You're going to get yourself 10% off your order and show us some support in the process.
That's right, guys. Go ahead and get your hands on some Volare Pickleball paddles. You are not going to be disappointed.
That's right. You will not be disappointed, just like I hope I am not disappointed with this next segment where I want to ask you the question,
What in the world is in that drink? What you got in that drink?
well, today I am going to be drinking something similar to what I drank last week. This is not going to be a recurring thing, but last week I drank a non-alcoholic beer for the first time ever on the show. And I actually saw another beer that caught my eye that's non-alcoholic, so I decided to get another one. And this is from the company known as Guinness. You ever heard of that one?
I mean, I know there's that company that has the Book of World Records. Is that the same or different? I don't know.
Actually, I think it is the same, to be honest. And this beer is called Guinness Zero. So from what I understand, it is basically just a non-alcoholic version of the Guinness stout that everybody has come to know and love. And I don't know if I've told you this, but over the last couple of years, I've really developed a love for Guinness to where that's a go-to beer that I always have in my fridge now.
Yeah, Guinness is a great beer. I mean, if you like stouts, why not go with the classic stout like Guinness? But I actually like to get it on draft at bars under nitro more than I like to be able to drink it in a can potentially. Have you ever had it where they pour it out on the nitro taps at a bar or restaurant?
I have. It's delicious, super, super smooth. But yeah, today I am trying Guinness Zero. So I'm interested to see what this is going to be like. I'll wait until you reveal what you're going to drink, and then I'll take a sip and reveal my thoughts on this.
Well, as I mentioned the last couple times, I'm trying to clear out my fridge, and honestly, this could have been in there for years, potentially from like 2 houses ago, and that is Angry Orchard hard cider, crisp apple, unfiltered, hazy, and less sweet. Now, historically, I've not been a fan of hard ciders. It hasn't been my thing, but I thought I would give it a try today. What's your take on hard ciders?
I don't mind them. I feel like I did kind of go through a phase when they were newer on the market, and I liked them a lot at that time. And I feel like when they first came out on the market, I wasn't a big beer fan. Believe it or not, for a while, I really did not like beer much, especially IPAs. I feel like I just developed that over time, and now I love beer and I love IPAs. But there was a time in my life where I enjoyed a good hard cider, and I will still sip on one from time to time.
I don't know the last time I had one, so I'm excited to dig in. Here you go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh. Well, that's not very good. But that's okay. How's yours?
This is actually surprisingly really good. Like, it tastes very similar, and this actually is the nitro style. Like, it's got
nice.
it's got the thing in the can, and
Yep.
it pours out a lot smoother than like a normal one. And this is surprisingly good. So if you are a Guinness fan and you want something that's non-alcoholic, I would definitely recommend getting the Guinness Zero. Very tasty.
I'll have to try that one out. I'm always curious to see how non-alcoholic beverages taste, but just doesn't really seem to be something that I go to. But maybe I'll try it out now.
Yeah, I feel like it's not going to be something I do super regularly. Like I said last week, I only got it last week because I was feeling sick, and then this one caught my eye. So I bought these both at the same time, and I figured, I might as well give another non-alcoholic one a try. And this one is surprisingly good. I dig it.
Nice. Well, if you guys are at home listening or watching and you're having a drink, let us know down in the comments below. And Webby, sounds like you might have some shout outs.
I do. I actually want to give a shout out to Smash Paddle in Sterling Heights, Michigan. That is one of the biggest and nicest paddle facilities in the country. And I got some private training yesterday, and it went really, really well.
Really?
Fact, yes, Catherine, really. In fact, the reason I'm bringing it up now, I really think the things we went over yesterday are actually going to help my pickleball game also, because we went a lot over my footwork and the positioning of my hand and the paddle, and also the contact point for the ball. I'm sure anybody who watches my tournament play videos, you know that I have pretty sloppy footwork. My contact point is usually bad because I usually hit the ball like when it's behind me instead of in front of me. And that's something that we worked on a lot yesterday, is my footwork, and then where my arm and hand and paddle are when I make contact with the ball. And even though it was for the sport of paddle and not the sport of pickleball, I think I can incorporate a lot of the stuff we went over into the pickleball world. So tomorrow is the first time I'm going to play pickleball since getting the paddle coaching. So I'm interested to see if what we went over does help in the pickleball side, which I really do think it will. So thank you, Robert, the CEO and owner of Smash Paddle, for giving me some great coaching. And you guys can stay tuned for some video content from my training session.
I can't wait to check it out. And honestly, Webby, when I'm up in Michigan, I'd love for you to be able to teach me how to play padel. I think it'd be fun to learn and see how much of the pickleball skill set translates over to padel. I know that there hasn't been a ton of padel players that have crossed over. I think Simone's brother, Marcel Jardim, is the only one that I know of that played high level or professional padel who has kind of made a splash in the pickleball world. Do you know of anybody else?
No, I can't think of anybody that has transitioned from paddle to pickleball. And I know you keep saying padel. That's such an American thing to say. apparently only Americans say padel,
even though they play with a racket.
So actually, I was told that it is called a paddle. I feel like I've gotten conflicting information. Somebody told me it was a racket before, but now I'm being told that a lot of people say it's not a racket because it doesn't have strings, and they do call it a paddle. So I don't know. It's a whole confusing thing.
Well, the company that does, I don't even know what you call it, they put on the MLP events. They're also the ones putting on Pickleball Slam 3 that Kyle and I are going to be doing close call replay at in February. They also do padel or paddle events, the entire productions of it as well. So I'll ask them what they say when I see them in February.
Yeah, I'll be curious to know. So anybody tuning in that plays paddle or padel, how do you say it? Do you know for sure the exact pronunciation? Because I don't want to look like a stupid dummy. I want to say the right thing. But maybe, I don't know, maybe both are accepted. Who knows? Also, is it a racket or a paddle? Do people use paddle rackets or paddle paddles?
It's so confusing. This whole thing is stupid. English is the stupidest language ever. Anyway, that's great. But Webby, it is time.
Now it's time for Memes of the Week. Yeah!
That's right. It's Memes of the Week, Pickleball Podcast hottest segment. Webby, I'm just dying to know, what meme do you have for us this week?
So this one comes from our good friend Evan Slaughter of Fit to Serve on Instagram, and he recently did a throwback post, and it's actually his most viewed pickleball post he ever did, the stages of first learning about pickleball.
Man, this is fun. They weren't lying, dude. I really enjoy this.
Bro, did you buy more paddles?
Yeah, dude, these were on sale, and what I've learned in the pickleball forums is that you can't have too many paddles. So I went ahead and grabbed a few more. Move up to the kitchen line, Donna. Ah! That's what I thought, Bethany. You and Todd need to step off the court now. Next. Step off, Bethany.
I feel like that's so true too. Like everybody, like they first play, they're like, oh yeah, this is pretty fun, and then they immediately buy new paddles without even really knowing what paddle they like the best. They just think, oh, I better buy some backups and stuff like that. And I remember I bought the Onyx Z5 the first time I used that. I was like, oh, I like this paddle a lot, and I immediately bought another one. So I always had at least 2 on me. At one point, I had 3 Onyx Z5s because I never knew if I was gonna break my first one and stuff like that. But after a month, you got like all the gear. You've got the pickleball T-shirts. You've got the backpacks. You got everything.
Yeah, it's true, man. It becomes addicting real fast.
What about you, Eddie? What kind of memes you got this week?
Well, Webby, it's been a little bit since we've showcased something from our friends over at Memes of Pickleball. So I got a couple here that I'm just going to go through real fast. And this one, well, it just says watch Zane, but it's based on their interviewing with Colin Johns and a word that he's using. So I'm just going to go ahead and start with this one and roll into a few. So this one says watch Zane. So watch very closely to Zane's face if you're watching this.
There's an unwritten rule in professional pickleball that maybe not everyone is aware of. Pegging is part of the game, and I am totally fine with pegging, but the etiquette is you keep it shoulders and below. And if you go higher than that, it's considered headhunting. And
Okay.
I feel like Zane's eyebrows raised a little higher and faster every time Colin said pegging.
Yeah. So if you guys are not on your work computer and you're curious, you can look up what pegging is. But I think it was just a term for hitting your opponent. But yeah, that was
Interesting word to use. I feel like you probably want to use Urban Dictionary to look up the meaning of that word.
yeah, probably Urban Dictionary is where I would go for that. So I'm just gonna do one more here, and this one says Ben John's out here trying to collect the bounty that Selkirk put on Kwang Dong's head.
Goodness gracious. Wow. Ben Johns just full Senate at QD. I have not seen him hit a ball that hard in my life. Wow. A shock driven through this place.
Oh, man. I love Adam Stone's reaction there. Like, he's just like, oh.
Were you watching when this happened at all?
I didn't see it live, but I saw that post. It was all over the pickleball forums and stuff.
Oh my God. I watched it live and I was cracking up. And I get it. Like, Kwang he's a frustrating player. He's probably pretty annoying because he just speeds up everything over and over and over again. And to somebody like Ben, who's like, oh, you could probably be a little bit more strategic, a little bit more methodical with your game instead of just constantly going hard every single time. And, he probably just got fed up with it. It's so funny.
Man.
He just teed off towards his head. I think that's great.
I'm kind of surprised that Ben didn't get charged with attempted murder with that shot. I mean, if that would have hit him in the head, like R.I.P.
Well, I mean, here's the thing too, right? If he was playing against someone like you or I, or even people with a little bit faster reflexes than us, he probably would have hit us. Kwang is just exceptionally fast. Now,
yeah,
I don't know. There's a lot of people that speculated that Ben was firing a warning shot and that, he knew he wasn't going to hit him, but I don't know. I don't even think the best of the best of the best, when you're hitting the ball that hard at an upward trajectory from low to high, like, I don't know how accurate you could possibly be with that to be able to say that he intentionally missed his head.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you said, that very hard to control from that angle, and man, that was a rocket.
Well, let me ask you this. So, I mean, obviously there were two memes that I showed about, body bags or whatever, which I know we're not, like, some people don't like that term, but whatever, let's just use it. So, without making this a full-blown topic, what is your take on it? Do you think it's part of the game? Do you think it's good strategy? Do you think it's, in line with good sportsmanship? What's your thought?
I do think it's part of the game. I am not one that gets really mad at somebody for doing it. To me, if I pop a ball up and somebody just drills the ball directly at me and gets a body bag shot, I'm more mad at myself. I'm not mad at the other player. And we've all seen those videos that people have posted where somebody maybe trips and falls on the ground, and then you just aim the ball at the
Yep.
person to get an easy point and stuff like that. I mean, to me, is it a little dirty? Maybe, but I do think it's part of the game, and I do think it's strategic. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I think it's encouraged. Anytime I'm playing with people that are somewhat of my skill level, or I know can take a hit and not get too offended or not get hurt, I will absolutely body bag them, no questions asked.
Yeah.
Especially if they're a little bit newer and they're popping the ball up, because I'm trying to teach them a lesson of this is why you don't pop the ball up. So I have no problem
Right.
putting it right into their chest. The head,
Yep.
if you're trying to hurt someone, that's different. We all know that getting
Yeah.
hit in the chest, it stings, but like you're going to be fine, right?
Right.
But if you get hit in the teeth and the eye and the ear, in the face, like that's where, if you're intentionally going for that, I think that's bad. Now, the hard part is, how do we determine whether you're intentionally going for somebody's head or not? Because I've accidentally hit people in the head before, and I've been hit in the head before by someone that I know was not intentionally trying to hit me in the head. So it happens. So the hard part is going to be able to quantify that. But I think as far as body bags as a general strategy, go for it. Use it as your weapon, especially if you're playing against someone really tall and big. They're not going to be able to move as fast to be able to get out of the way, and they have a big target. Use that target, right? Hit
Yep.
it right in their chest. Hit it right in their gut.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the only time I would have a problem is if, as the person's hitting it, they're like headshot, and then it hits you in the head. That might have been intentional.
Wouldn't that be funny if Ben would have yelled that? Like as he's moving him, he's like, "I'm coming at your head," and he just just
Watch your head.
Oh my god!
Oh,
that's
man.
so funny.
That'd be hilarious. It'd be like a full blown heel turn. Like in the professional wrestling world, the bad guy is called a heel, and part of me wants to see Ben do a full blown heel turn in the pickleball world. I think that would be entertaining.
What's a heel turn? I don't know. I'm not familiar with that term.
That's where like you're considered like the baby face of the company. You're a good guy, and then you do something blatantly bad to prove like, you know what, I'm a bad guy now. I'm not the good guy you once knew.
No good. Great stuff. Always love memes of the week. But Webby, I do think it is time.
Now it's time for Topics of the Week.
That's right. Topics of the week, where Eddie and I each bring up a topic to discuss. So Eddie, let's start with you this week. What do you got on your mind?
Well, before I get into that, it's kind of a shout out a little bit, but I don't know if you saw Chris Callie over at Sorry Not Sorry Pickleball. He posted something where you can actually sign up to play Family Feud. Did you see this, Webby?
I did. It sounds very interesting. Sounds very fun.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't gone over there, check it out. If you on Instagram, if you go to Sorry Not Sorry Pickleball, you'll see a link to the link tree, and then you can sign up, get a group of 4, schedule a time. I don't know, Webby. I'm kind of thinking you and I should find a group of 4 to jump on here. What do you say?
I'd be down. I took part in the survey. I am one of the survey people.
Well, survey says you guys should go out there and check it out. But that's not my topic. That was just something that was fun that I had pulled up. My topic is actually regarding Major League Pickleball. And on January 22nd, Major League Pickleball announced a bunch of rules and format changes. Webby, have you seen these at all?
I did, and there was one certain thing that really stood out to me. I'm curious to see if that's what you're going to bring up.
Well, I want to go through a few of them and maybe go a little bit deeper into the one that you're referring to. But let's pull it up here. This is kind of a summary of everything. There is a link that you can go to that's going to go into more depth on each of these. But let's just go through them. Number 1, and this is huge, it's player eligibility, and only players under UPA contracts will be eligible to play in MLP events. Wow. I know that this past year, the vast majority of players were UPA contracted players. And the ones that weren't, I believe that the MLP teams had to pay $20,000 or something along those lines in certain circumstances to allow non-contracted players to play. But in this year, they're saying, nope, no contract, no play. What's your take on that?
I am not a fan of that at all. I mean, I kind of get why they're doing it, but man, I wish that we could go back to the days where the best of the best from all realms of pickleball could participate in an event like this. And I do not like that now we have a limited player pool to choose from when it comes to MLP.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is going to lead to a lesser of a product. I understand with the team format and drafts and trades and stuff like that, you have to have some sort of agreements between the players and the league. But if players don't want to have UPA contracts, there's probably a reason for it. And so my take is, what are we going to do now? We're not going to have the best of the best out there in Major League Pickleball. And I think it's going to be a huge disservice. I think it's going to be a disservice to those that are truly at the level that could do very well. And I think it's a disservice to pickleball fans as a whole. And I don't understand how they're going to handle teams that have a lot of these players that aren't going to be getting contracts by next year, right? Like, it almost seems like in that situation, you almost need a redraft. And this is especially on the challenger teams, because a lot of the premier teams, I would assume most of the premier players were all contracted. But on the challenger side, I know there were a lot of teams that weren't. So let's say you have to lose half your team now. What do you do? Like that just seems like an kind of an unfair, or you're already starting, way behind everybody else at the 100-yard dash.
Yeah, that seems very rough to me, and I would not want to be in that position to have to totally redraft my team and only choose from the contracted players. And I feel like this kind of goes back to what I was saying on the previous episode, where I feel like the UPA only cares about the UPA and not necessarily the sport of pickleball as a whole. Because if they did care about the sport as a whole, they would let players from all over the world of pickleball be part of this and showcase to the world the best of the best. And I feel like all they care about is promoting their players, which, again, from a business perspective, I think makes a little sense, but I still think that it's going to hurt the overall product more than it's going to help it.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. The next one is under rosters. All premier level teams will see rosters expand to 6 players, 3 men, and 3 women. Webby, what do you think about this?
I feel like that kind of makes sense, just in case somebody gets hurt, or if somebody is sick, or just having somebody on standby, kind of like somebody on the bench, like in regular sports. So to me, that does kind of make sense. That way you don't have to try to find somebody at the last minute or try to work out a deal to find somebody to fill in. I feel like if you have like a set group and that maybe a couple of them are more so just on standby as opposed to the main players, I feel like I can understand why they would do that.
Yeah, I think this is huge. I've actually been saying this for quite a while now, that MLP needed to move to 6-player teams for the reasons you mentioned, but also the strategy behind this, right? I think that we're going to start to see a different strategy when you are trying to draft or bring players onto your team in order to fill the 3 men and 3 women spots, especially once we get a little bit more clarity around what's the format going to be. Can we shift players mid-game? Can we have players that are there just for dream breakers, right? There's going to be a lot to do, but I think having the 6 players on each team is going to allow for a lot better of a product and a lot better of storylines, and play into the strategy a lot more, which I'm really excited about. Mid-season tournament. Regular season standing points will be earned by each level's top 3 finishers. So last year, Beer City Open, that was the mid-season tournament. It sounds like that's going to be also Beer City Open again this year. But it looks a little bit different, saying regular season standing points will be earned by each level's top 3 finishers. So it sounds like there's going to be more to it than just kind of a standalone tournament. Last year's Beer City Open, Major League Pickleball's mid-season tournament, it didn't outside of those tournament results, it didn't really affect anything, right?
It did seem kind of odd that it didn't really matter in the grand scheme of the overall season. So I can get behind that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good that it will actually play into it. But I also do like the fact that it's still kind of a mid-season tournament. It's going to be at the Beer City Open, which obviously it's something that's very close to us. So I like that. Here we go. This is the one I'm assuming that you wanted to talk about. Scoring. MLP will utilize side-out scoring for doubles matches and will maintain the Dream Breaker format. Rally scoring to 21, switch every 4 points as the 5th game. This is huge. Webby, what's your take on this, man?
Yeah, that is definitely the one that I was referring to earlier. And man, I'm torn on this one because I really liked the rally scoring aspect of Major League Pickleball. I know we've talked about this in the past, how some people didn't like it because it kind of manufactured some comebacks to happen that normally probably wouldn't happen. But to me, it made the games more fun and exciting and made things come down to the wire. On the other hand, though, I feel like Major League Pickleball has the chance to get more eyeballs to the general public. And I feel like that kind of confused people, the fact that rally scoring was happening. But if you were to play amateur pickleball or watch a regular pickleball tournament, we do the normal side out scoring. So on that side of things, I can understand why they are changing it. That way it's more consistent all across the board. But man, I think I'm going to miss the rally scoring. What are your thoughts on this?
I've always been a proponent of side out scoring. I like rally scoring for singles, and I like rally scoring for certain formats like the Dream Breaker. I think that is perfect for that, right? At the same point, I'm also very excited that we're going to side out scoring for regular matches. I think that rally scoring with a freeze, to me, is artificial drama. I don't like it. I don't think it makes sense. And rally scoring with you have to win on your serve. Again, I think it's artificial drama. I don't like it. I don't think it flows very well. I think side out scoring is the way to be able to do it. Now, from a production perspective, I understand that side out scoring is a little bit harder to predict how long matches are going to take. It adds a little bit of an unknown element to it. But I also think that the conclusions of very close side out scoring matches are far greater and more dramatic and engaging than close rally scoring matches. I mean, almost every single match in Major League Pickleball was close at the end, and that's because of rally scoring. I think side out scoring is going to lead to a better product. I think it's going to be easier to understand, and I think that it fits the sport far greater than rally scoring ever did. But I'm glad that they're sticking with rally scoring for the Dream Breaker. And to add on that too, I was at a lot of MLP events in 2024 doing close call replay. I think there's an opportunity for Major League Pickleball to take something from the Arizona Pickleball League during what we were calling the match breakers in Arizona Pickleball League at the Orchard and applying that to the Dream Breakers. During those match breakers, you had DJ Pickle and he had music playing, and it was in the background at low volumes when play was going on, and then he would bring it up during breaks, and it made it a very fast-paced type of situation. And I think that the Dream Breaker should take that approach. No timeouts, no side switch, or if you side switch, it's fast. It's 20, 30 seconds, and you just keep it going. You've got the DJ on there, watching, riding the levels, understanding what's going on, feeding into it. I think that right there would make the Dream Breakers more engaging. Let me ask you this, Webby. When you first started watching Major League Pickleball and there was a Dream Breaker, how excited were you? Like, oh my God, there's a Dream Breaker, right? Like, you know, you're glued to the TV, or if you're at the event, you're running over there. And I don't know if you remember those days, but did you feel that way?
Oh yeah, I absolutely loved it. Anytime a Dream Breaker happened, I got super excited and I just couldn't take my eyes off of it. I loved it. Super entertaining, super exciting, especially when the females would beat the male players and stuff like that. I know the male players always hated it because they felt like they were in a lose-lose situation, but I think from a viewership standpoint, it was super fun.
I agree with you. I remember when MLP first started, I'm like, this is great. I love it. This is exactly what pickleball needs. But then it kind of fell away. People were like, oh, great, another Dream Breaker. Awesome. This just means we're going to be here longer. This is, it lost its charm. We need to bring that Dream Breaker drama back. We need to make it fun and engaging, and we need to be able to do something to shake it up. And I think borrowing from the Arizona Pickleball League and how they handled their match breakers would be exactly what I would propose to Major League Pickleball for their Dream Breakers.
Yeah, I loved Arizona Pickleball League. I thought the way that they did it was just right. Very entertaining, fast-paced, intense, great quality of play. So, yeah, they could definitely learn a few things from the Arizona Pickleball League.
I agree. Overall, I think these are great decisions. I love that we're moving to a six-person team. I love that we're going to side-out scoring for regular play. I love that we're keeping rally scoring for the Dream Breakers. Webby, any of your final thoughts on this before we move on to your topic?
Mainly just overall, I think they're good changes. I don't think I like the side-out scoring thing as much as you, because I was a big fan of rally scoring. I thought it was exciting, but I totally understand why people didn't like it. And I'm not the type that's going to be like, oh, this sucks. I'm not going to watch Major League Pickleball anymore because I liked rally scoring. But I liked it.
Could you imagine somebody's like, I'm not watching this standard side out scoring crap. I like rally scoring. I'm not watching this crap. I'm not doing it.
Right. But I feel like one of the reasons why I did like it is because it was so different. I feel like with the side out scoring, it might almost just become another pro pickleball tournament, which there's already too many of, if you ask me. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if it is going to be engaging enough. That's one of the things I'm worried about, though, is that it's not going to be different enough from a traditional pickleball tournament, which, I mean, it'll be different because of the team aspect, but still, I don't know. I'll definitely give it a chance. And then I'm excited to see the first one and talk about it with everybody and see what we think of it.
Yeah, we'll keep having this discussion, guys. But we want to know your take, right? Do you have a hot take? Do you think these rules are good? Do you think these rules are bad? Throw it down in the comments below. We'd love to be able to have a discussion around this in the comments. We've gotten some great feedback lately. We want to keep it going. So please let us know your thoughts. Webby, that was my topic. I can't wait to hear. What do you got for us?
So mine is going to be probably a quick one. It's just kind of a general thing that crossed my mind recently. And it's something we've touched on a little bit in the past, but I kind of wanted to talk about it a little more in depth. And the reason this is fresh on my mind is I was on Reddit the other day in the pickleball subreddit, and somebody brought this up. And basically they were asking, does it seem like people that are 4.5 and above just aren't having fun when playing pickleball anymore like they used to? And I was thinking about it. And to be honest, I almost feel like that's the case, because I don't know about the people you play with, but when I think about the people that I play with that are 4, 5 and above, they seem to take it very, very seriously. I feel like they don't have as much fun. They're not joking around. They're not laughing as much. I feel like people that are 4, 5 and above very rarely ever do drop in or open play at the local facilities or the outdoor facilities. And to me, that's one of the best parts of pickleball is maybe you don't have a group to play with. You just want to go show up at the local courts and have a good time with the locals and stuff like that. I feel like a lot of the higher level people don't do that kind of thing. And then also when it comes to the higher level tournaments, when you're doing 4, 5 and above, I feel like it's almost more stressful for them because they might be playing for money, or they don't want their rating to go down, because I feel like people at that level, they care about their rating a lot more than the people that play casually. So to me, I do almost feel like people that are 4, 5 and above don't enjoy pickleball, or maybe they enjoy it, but they just don't seem to be having as fun of a time as the lower level players. And I wonder what you think about that.
Well, I think it's easy for groups that you're referring to, the ones that don't seem like they're having fun. I think it's easy for them to stand out. And so when they're not having fun, you're aware and you know it because they're very, very serious about it. I am pretty fortunate that I know a few people that are 4-5, 5-0 even, that have no problem playing open play, playing in with us 3-5s, 4-0s, right? Like they're totally cool about it. So I don't think I want to make a broad generalization about that, because I've also seen some 3-5s that think they're 4-5s that are just as shitty on the court and are not having fun. So to me, I think it's just there's less 4-5s than there are 3-5s, right? That's just how it works in the bell curve. Most people fall into that, 3-0 to 3-5 range. Not many people are 4-5 and plus. So I think they stand out. I think it's easy to hate on them because of the fact that they are so much better. And probably part of the reason that they are better is because they tightly control the group that they have. But this to me doesn't seem like it's much different than, okay, here's a good example for you, Webby. Last summer when I went to Nashville, I was able to meet with Simone at some public courts that were nearby. And you had Simone and 4 other top pros that were staying with her. They're out there drilling and training and having fun. So if you don't know who they are and you just walked up to them on their court and you saw them drilling, you probably would think like, okay, like they're probably not having as much fun because they're taking it a little bit more seriously. So if that is the case, I don't think it should fall under that group because it's there for a very different intention. So I do understand what you're saying. I just think that those who fall into that group that are not having fun stand out so much more. And there's probably a ton of them that are still having fun or under different circumstances are still a lot of fun to play with and still have fun while they're playing pickleball.
All right. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. That the part about them drilling, I do feel like the higher level people, they drill a lot more because they want to refine their skills and stuff like that. And to me, I just don't like drilling. It's just not fun to me. So it's just, I know maybe people do have fun when they're drilling. I know you and I have talked about that before. I think you said you have fun drilling.
I love it.
But I've done drilling and I definitely see the importance of it. Like I would be a much better player if I did drilling, but man, just the whole time I'm drilling, I just keep thinking, I would rather just play a game right now.
Well, and that's the thing too, is I think incorporating your drills into a game are important too, because if it just becomes boring and dull and the same thing and repetitive, then yeah, it's not going to be fun. But if you can do a drill, get that touch, and then turn it into a game, that's where I think it's most fun. A lot of times I'd rather play skinny singles as a drill than I would doubles, especially if it's open play. I actually think I would rather do skinny singles with somebody that I know rather than open play doubles any day of the week.
Yeah. But I do want to know, everybody tuning in, what do you think? Does it seem to you that people that are 4-5 and above just aren't enjoying pickleball as much as the rest of us?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm going to pay more attention to that, Webby. Next time I go to the courts, I'm going to look at the 4-5 courts and be like, are they having fun? I'm going to get out my fun meter and be like, nope, they're not having fun.
Nice. But yeah, that's my topic for the week. I thought this was a fun episode. Some good stuff here tonight.
You want to know what else is good stuff, Webby?
What's that?
Products from our friends over at Jigsaw Health. And let me tell you something. I use products from Jigsaw Health every single day. Stuff to keep me healthy, stuff to keep me hydrated, and stuff to keep me feeling good, because at Jigsaw Health, it's fun to feel good. And Webby, how do you like to stay hydrated?
Well, something I actually did this morning was I drank a water bottle with a packet of pickleball cocktail, the blue raspberry flavor to be exact. I love the taste of it. I love starting my day with that. Whether I'm going to play pickleball or not, I do love to start with a bottle of that because I feel like it just gets me nice and hydrated. And when I'm hydrated, I feel great.
Yeah, and it tastes good too. Guys, get your hands on some great products over at Jigsaw Health. You can use coupon code PB4Life10 to get 10% off your order. That's jigsawhealth.com, PB4Life10. Get 10% off your order. Help support a company that is obsessed with pickleball and give us a little bit of help along the way. We do appreciate it.
That's right. And while you're at it, you might as well smash that like button, leave us a comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel.
That's right. Webby, I agree with you. This has been a great episode. Lots of great content.
But we can't end the episode until we find out Eddie's
closing thoughts. So what did we learn today? We learned that there are stages to pickleball once you get started. We also learned that, well, Colin Johns is just okay with pegging. And we learned that if you keep driving the ball at Ben Johns, he's going to retaliate at some point. We talked about some of the major changes happening for Major League Pickleball in 2025. Are they good? Are they not good? And we asked the question, do 4.5 plus players actually have fun on the pickleball court?
Man, episode number 86 has come and gone. I still can't believe we've done this for 86 different episodes now. Crazy.
I know, especially Dinking Around. We had almost 100 of the original Eddie and Webby podcast too. So many episodes, so many hours of our stupid faces on the internet. It's crazy.
Yep. I never thought it would last this long, but I love it. I want to keep it going for as long as we can.
Should we do a live one soon? I do think we need to just kind of keep us on our toes. I think we should do a live episode soon. Let us know in the comments down below what you think. But on that note, I'm Eddie.
And until next time, this is Webby, not Eddie, signing off.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're dinking around with Eddie and Webby. Dinking around with Eddie and Webby tonight.
Oh, yeah.